Drafting with Numot. It is finally time for War of the Gosh Darn Spark Limited. Draft is here to stay for Magic Online. And boy, do we have some doozies. Anyways, this set, as you may or may not know, has tons of Planeswalkers. As you can see, we opened one at the uncommon level here, the Wanderer. But that also makes it a very interesting format where games tend to kind of get a little bit swingy. There are a lot of rares that are just, I mean, to be blunt, are way too good and are very hard to deal with. Namely the God Eternals, but there are plenty of rares and whatnot in this format that are just very hard to deal with. And that was namely in Seal. Draft is still a similar beast. Anyways, I'm going to go over this pack really quickly. Obnixilus's Cruelty and Commence the Endgame, as well as the Wanderer, are the best three cards here. I've been impressed by Commence the Endgame every single time, and even though I think black is the best color and Cruelty is a super strong card, it's kind of hard to pass a card as good as Commence the Endgame here. 6-mana instant, can't be countered, draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Every time I've played this card, it's been excellent, so not a sad first pick here. Get past a Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, one of the better Planeswalkers here, I think, just because of her static ability. All Planeswalkers in this format have a static ability, which means they kind of just serve as an enchantment if you're not going to use any of their loyalty. But giving all your creatures flash is, let me tell you, very nice. Just being able to pass with all your mana open. You know, your opponent doesn't know if they can attack or not. They don't know what kind of tricks you're holding up otherwise. So I'm going to easily just take the Vivien here. I'm surprised it's still in the pack. Evolution Sage, another very, very good uncommon. Proliferate is back, and there are plenty of things to put a counter on. Ral's Outburst, another very strong card. In fact, this pack in general has a lot of good cards in it, but I think pretty easy Vivien here to follow up the Commence. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a different direction because another Planeswalker here, and Angrath is another nice one. So amassing is when you put counters on an army creature you control, and if you don't already have an army creature, then you create a 0/0 creature instead, and then put the counters on that. So that's what amass means. Passing an Augur, Lazotep Plating's good, amassing one and giving all your permanents hexproof is nice. Just any card that has a mass on it is usually playable to some degree. Other good cards in the pack include Herald of the Dreadhorde, just a solid 4-drop that gets value when it dies. Lawrune Enforcer, and there's another Sorin's Thirst, but hard for me to pass a Planeswalker here, especially one as good as the Angrath. As we get another Planeswalker now, although this is one that I don't think is particularly strong, certainly not one that I take very early. This is Narset. Her static is each opponent can't draw more than 1 card, and you can look at the top 4 cards and put a non-creature, non-land into your hand from it. Might still be the pick here, as this pack overall is pretty medium, although I could take, say, the Shriek Diver or the Sorin's Thirst to kind of follow up the Angrath. Yeah, Narset's just not that great, so I think to follow up the Angrath, I don't mind taking, say, you know, the Thirst or the Diver. I've actually been unimpressed, though, with Sorin's Thirst as a removal spell overall. I think it's just not very good in this format, so I'm going to take the flyer and see what happens. Okay. Some decent picks here. I kind of like the Deliver Unto Evil, especially like the art on this one, but it's like a reverse Gifts Ungiven. So you get to choose 4 cards of your graveyard. Your opponent gives you the worst 2, but oftentimes that's, you know, not bad. There's a Price of Betrayal here, which is also another fine pick. Oftentimes, your opponent's decks are just going to have, you know, any number of Planeswalkers, so this is a good way to deal with those. But then it also deals with the amass creatures if they're not, you know, larger than a 5/5. So I'll take the removal spell here, follow up the black for now. Otherwise, maybe like the Spellkeeper Weird is a fine consideration, but price is solid removal. This is like the 3rd or 4th Sorin's Thirst we've seen. Divine Arrow in the pack as well, classic reprint of, you know, Gideon's Reproach type card. Also a Liliana's Triumph here, which I'm not super impressed with this card in this format, just because there are a lot of creatures that also produce a zombie when they enter, you know, an amass token when they enter. So I'm actually going to take the Conjurant here. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but I think it's it's not ever going to be the worst card in your deck, right? And it just fits nicely onto curve wherever you want it. So happy to take that. Could take a mana geode here. Fixing is hard to come by in this format, and geode is one of the better ways to do so. The only other card I would consider is taking the Kasmina's Transmutation, which honestly in this format, it's nice just to have one, just because of the God Pharaohs and stuff like that. But you know, against a lot of creatures in this format, it's surprisingly not very good. So I could actually see taking the Fixing here and staying open instead of taking the Kasmina's, and which is what I'm going to do. Okay, pretty garbage pack here for us. I actually don't mind Stealth Mission a lot of the time, but I don't think I would be starting any of these cards likely, so just take that and put it to the board. And Duskmantle Operative. If you just need a bear, so be it. It's fine. I like the discard effects like Davriel's Shadow Fugue, but I think in Sealed they're much better than they are in Draft. Okay, as we wield the Sorin's Thirst, which I'll take over the Lazotep Plating. And there's a Relentless Advance if we want it. We might not even be playing blue though, but you never know. Okay, some last few picks. Another Relentless Advance. I don't think Teo is very good. And more filler. Okay, so not a bad first pack. Got some good cards, although we're kind of scattered all over the place. I think I did settle into black, but I mean, the cards are fine, but not very amazing. Hoping to find something better here in this next pack. And yeah, we got some good ones. Oath of Kaya is a very good rare. Just 3 damage, 3 life for 3 mana. You don't need the extra abilities, although those are just random upside. D-Spark is a good one as well. Omnixilis is a fine Planeswalker. Not amazing, but fine. It's especially good when you have a lot of creatures, you know, a lot of 1/1s or whatever that you can sacrifice to draw 2 cards. I think the actual best card in this pack, though, is the Bloom Hulk. This, in my opinion, might just be the best green common, as 4/4 for 4 mana in limited is already good stats as it is, but Proliferate is so nice. So I think I'm going to go with the Bloom Hulk here. It already has synergy with both the Planeswalkers and the Conjurant that I have, but some fine cards in this pack, but I think the Bloom Hulk has the highest upside. Okay. I guess this is just going to be an Eternal Taskmaster. Put the blue cards to the sideboard for now. Tibalt is good. Powder Helix is okay. Some other playable cards. Grizzly is a decent green common, one of the better ones for sure. Can't get much better than that for 3 mana anyways, but we're not necessarily playing green, and Taskmaster is just a very good 2. Whoa! How about a Johnny the Greathearted? This card is certainly a bomb. Some other good cards in this pack. Big fan of Centaur Nurturer. Big fan of Arlen's Wolf, which can just be unblockable a lot of the time. Vizier makes, you know, extra value and makes your mass zombie army have Death Touch. But given the fact that I've already taken some green cards and I already have the Mana Geode, I think it's just too good not to take the Ajani. This card is busted beyond belief. And now we have the option of taking that extra piece of Fixing, the Nurturer, just like we saw in the previous pack, or the Pollen Bright Druid. Another really solid green common. You can just play this on 2 mana as a 2-drop with a 1/1 counter on it, so you get extra Proliferate value there. Or you can just choose to Proliferate for 2 mana and get a 1/1 body. But I'm going to go with the Fixing here since I've taken the Ajani now. And here we will take a Spark Harvest, just solid removal. Destroy a creature or a Planeswalker. This is looking pretty good for us. Giant Growth. There's an Enforcer Griffin. Trusted Pegasus is easily the best card in this pack. Huh. I wonder if I'm moving more into a straight up 3-color deck, because the Pegasus is very, very good. Mana base might be a little bit sketchy in this one, and this is a single elimination draft, so if I do lose round 1, I'm out. But feels like I might have been a little bit too wishy-washy, huh? I don't know. The cards are good. It's just going to be hard to cast something like Sorin's Thirst on turn 2 if I'm, in addition to running my swamps, running plains and forests. So this was actually a really good pickup here for us. The Gateway Plaza is going to do some nice fixing since I've already gotten a white card that I'm for sure playing, and then maybe another white good card. Okay, let's just take the Lazotep Behemoth here as a fine, beefy creature. Don't really need the Crawl Stinger, although it's okay. Well, actually, I guess with Vivian, maybe the Crawl Stinger is slightly better. Prismite I don't really consider good fixing, so we're just going to pass it up and take the 3-drop. Wield the Obnixilis. Okay, that's a little bit surprising to me. I'm going to go ahead and take that here. Again, not super busted or anything like that, but can definitely snowball out of control if you just have board position at all. Another Shriek Diver versus another 2-drop. There are better 2-drops that I can pick up, so let's just take the 3. Another Crawl Stinger, okay. Charity Extractor, fine sideboard card, another Operative. Yeah, it's possible that I'm just splashing the Ajani in my green-black deck. Certainly what it looks like for right now anyways. The good news is we still have one more pack to go, and there are a lot of things that could happen in one pack. Also, another thing I've noticed for this format is that generally you tend to have fewer creatures than other formats, just because you end up with a lot of amass cards, and those amass cards are effectively creatures themselves, right? Like, it says my creature count is currently 10, but, you know, I have Angrath, for example, which creates a token. Okay, really another solid pack here for us. Death Sprout is just one of the better removal spells in the format. Kill any creature, instant speed, and then you get a basic land, which also acts as fixing. But I think here the Bloom Hulk is just, again, the best pick here for us. The card just does so much work. I've been so impressed with it every single time. I don't know, it's close though. I guess the more I think about it, the more that this is better for me because it fixes, but man, I hate passing Bloom Hulks. Otherwise, Toll of the Invasion's a good one. Another Gateway Plaza, but I guess we'll just take the solid removal. Wow, another super strong pack. Zhang Yanggu, great Planeswalker. Pollen Bright Druid on 2, Crunch Wrangler, and an Omnixilis' Cruelty. Yowza. I think my creature quality is already there, so I'm going to just take the Cruelty for removal. But dang. All these cards would be very, very good in my deck. Elder Spell. Another Bloom Hulk. Surprisingly, this card, maybe unsurprisingly, it is good, and you're going to run it a lot of the time in black, but I don't think it's too narrow of an ability. I'm just going to take the Bloom Hulk here. Otherwise, I would take Band Together, which is another good removal spell, but like I was saying earlier, Bloom Hulks are just too good. Okay, now we do have that choice of the Band Together, or I could take Guild Globe for some more fixing and cycling if I wanted, but given the fact that I also have 2 Crawl Stingers, the Band Together also has better upside, I think. Because, of course, with the Death Touch creatures, Band Together says, you know, the creatures you control deal their damage, so any creature with Death Touch will immediately kill another creature. And I suppose we can take a second Sorin's Thirst. Again, these cards are not very good, and it's quite possible that I just take it but sideboard it in as necessary. I'm really hoping to get one of those Pollen Bright Druids back on the wheel, but otherwise I think our deck is solid enough. I guess another reason for not taking that Elder Spell earlier was because I already have the Price of Betrayal, which is already a narrow card in effect. In fact, I think Price of Betrayal is probably just better than Elder Spell, since it can also kill the Amass tokens. Okay, last of the no, this is 6 picks, so a few more packs that we haven't seen. There's a Huatli here. She's not very good, especially not in my deck. I think what I'm just going to do is just take one of these hexproof crocodiles. It's good with 1/1 counters. It oftentimes can just annoy your opponents if they're playing, you know, some removals or whatever. Okay, and we'll just take another 2-drop. Crunch Wrangler, very, very good with Bloom Hulks. If you can go turn 2 Crunch Wrangler into turn 4 Bloom Hulk, you can stack the triggers so that the Wrangler gets a +1/+1 counter, and then you proliferate, so it would automatically become a 4/3. Pretty good. Bond of Flourishing, Forced Landing. Let's take the Forced Landing for sideboard versus flying heavy decks. And looks like that is going to be pretty close to our deck list. Looks like I need to cut one card here as I'm on 24. Not quite sure what I'm supposed to cut here. I suppose it could be one of the Shriek Divers, but maybe it's just a Crawl Stinger. I don't know. This card never feels amazing to me. Like, it's never awful, but a lot of the time it's just, 3 mana trade with whatever creature that they can. Tidebearer Giant was actually a great wheel for me as well. It's one I will put in the deck. So we get the last few dredges of picks here. So my sideboard's pretty lackluster. I didn't get too much. I think I was kind of waffling a little bit too early on the blue card, but I'm glad I jumped out of blue as it didn't appear to be super open anyways. Let's take a look at our curve. Creatures, non-creatures, although Angrath does make creatures. And since I need to cut one more card, I guess I'm just going to cut the Duskmantle Operative, honestly. Another 2-drop that doesn't really do enough. It's more for filler purposes. But yeah, not a bad deck. Not my best draft ever. I've had some really good drafts. And this one, while fine, is not amazing by any stretch, but it could definitely do the job. And let's get that Gateway Plaza in there for fixing. So only have one white card that we're splashing for. Have a Plaza, have a Mana Geode, and I have a Nurturer. I have no New Horizons though, but we should be able to get away with 1 Plains here. And so let's go 8 Swamp, 7 Forest, and 1 Plains, in addition to that Gateway Plaza. And we'll bring it back for round 1 of this competitive single elimination War of the Spark draft. Alright, we have lost the die roll, but we have a pretty good hand. Our opponent's on the play. We're playing against Amaz. Recent GP London top 8er, Amaz. Our hand is quite good. Look at that. 2-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop, Obnixilis. I approve. I approve a lot. It looks like he is on, well, just red for now. Let's run out the Taskmaster, but it might eat a Jaya's Greeting or a Chandra's Triumph if he has it. And he has the Raging Crunch. Okay, well that can't attack by itself. Notably though, it can block, so you don't want to attack into it. So I'm just going to run out the Vivian here and get some immediate value. Going to go for the -2 here. And let's hit the Ward Scale Crocodile. And that's nice because next turn I can just play a land pass, holding up Cruelty, and then like flashing out my Shriek Diver if I want to. It's awkward that I don't get to develop on my Gateway Plaza this way, but I think this is probably for the best. I like this play because the Crunch can't attack, so... Oh, Chandra's Pyrohelix to kill off Vivian was not very nice. In which case, I think I will... This is tough to say, honestly. I think I just need to run out the Plaza now in case I don't draw another land next turn, though. Slightly awkward on my mana, but I think that's the way I like doing it. And again, we'll just pass here. I can still play the Crocodile that's been exiled with the Vivian. I just can't cast it at instant speed. Ral Storm Conduit, eh? Okay. That's kind of annoying. The problem with Ral is that his loyalty just goes up so quickly. Few different lines here I could take. I think my best bet is probably just playing the Crocodile. Getting the Hexproof Crocodile down underneath the counter spell is really solid when I have the band together already in my hand. The little crunch that could. So we can put Ral up to 8 loyalty this turn. All right, he plays land number 5. Down ticks Ral. And play... Ooh, copy Tamio's Epiphany is very good. Jeez, he gets to scry 4, draw 2, then scry 4, draw 2 again. My god. Two on the bottom, 2 on top, then he draws them. God, that is so much value. Fortunately for us, we have a pretty good set of turns. I think we might just be able to tempo him out. Okay, he put 2 cards on the bottom and 2 on top again. Especially if we draw a land here. But if not, this is still fine. We can Cruelty, the Crunch, hit Ral, kill Ral, and attack him for 2. And then I actually like playing the Conjurant out here on 2 as well, because I have the Bloom Hulk in hand, and we kind of want to just keep the pressure on. So maybe if I just, band together a creature next turn, hit for 9, might be worth. Spellgorger, weird, yes. Into an Aven Eternal, sure. Alright. Yeah, really just missing having an extra land here. I have all these 3-mana spells the last few turns, and I can't cast 2 of them at once. It's pretty awkward. Also don't want to trade off the Crocodile for the Aven Eternal plus the zombie token, so also kind of awkward in that regard. What I could do here is just play the Ob Nixilis and eat my own Conjurant and draw 2 cards. I don't see that being a terrible play, but I think another fine play is just running out the Bloom Hulk. Proliferating. And actually still just attacking with anything, or rather with everything. Because I think I'm fine trading the Taskmaster for either of his 2-power creatures. And we can still utilize the band together well to clear the board, so. Ooh, Saheeli's going to be a problem. Okay, Jaya's Greeting, get a token. Only 3 cards left in hand, though, so that's not that bad for me. I'll take a hit for 4 if he attacks. I don't think he would, though. Alright, nice. So we did find another land. I think what I'm going to do here now is play the Crawl Stinger. Band together on the Weird. This only gets wrecked by Lazotep Plating, I think. Which he did have. Unfortunate. We just have to pass. Oh, why did it split up his lands like that? That's kind of weird. Yeah, that Ral casting double Epiphany and me not hitting the 6th land to cast 2 3-mana spells puts him way up in advantage. Though the thing is, if I could kill the Weird, if I just get to resolve Ob Nixilis and shoot down the Weird, yes, he's going to get to draw 2 cards, but our creature quality is much higher than his is. We can play the Plains. This will play around Crush Descent. And let's go ahead and target the Weird. He gets to draw 2 cards here, but he's also going to take 2 damage. And I think I'm actually going to attack face here with the Bloom Hulk and leave these two creatures back. Alright, he's going to fall down to 10. Again, very possible that I'm just going to sack one of my own creatures here to draw 2 cards. What the heck? Tapping 8 mana. Could have one of those X cards, the Finales. Nine mana now. Okay, Callous Dismissal, bounce my Stinger. Dam Breaker, sure. Proliferate, proliferate. Not much you can do with 1 blue mana. Oh, it looks like he's going to copy to kill the Obnixilis here. And do I want to trade with 3/3 army? Seems like an okay thing to do before it gets too big. Ah, Price of Betrayal, a pretty good top deck for me. So we get to kill the Saheeli here. Take off all its counters. Let's play the Shriek Diver. And I think I like just playing the Crawl Stinger so that I can block the Dam Breaker instead of giving the Diver haste. Narset, okay. Let's see if he finds anything off that. Remember, only non-creature, non-land. Found another Callous Dismissal. That doesn't really do too much. I mean, he gets to attack me for 5 for 1 turn if he wants to, but I don't think that's too problematic for us. So let's double attack the Narset. I think he's probably just going to take the hit unless he has another burn spell in his hand. Yep. Then we can go Mana Geode, Scry 1, Angrath top, into Crawl Stinger pass, and it's kind of just going to come down to a top deck battle now. So hopefully he doesn't have a way to kill my Crawl Stinger this turn. Ooh, Stealth Mission, unblockable Dam Breaker. That's a 7 damage hit. Pretty good. Let's play that Angrath. Gonna be a kind of a close game here, I think. If he draws another, I'm gonna die. Another Stealth Mission, that is to say. Or a way to like copy it somehow, bring it back. He could have like a Bond of Insight, which would be really bad. Turd Ogre, I go to 4, okay. That's not the worst. Okay, make another. Can I kill him this turn? He can only block 1 creature, so I technically have lethal. Going for it. Nice. It's funny. The Angrath giving Menace has been super impressive for me. You know? And the fact is, he had 3 creatures, but he could only block 1 of mine because of the Menace. Kind of crazy. Okay, excuse me. So, what to sideboard? I don't really have much. Like maybe the Davriel's Shadow Fugue is not completely awful versus him, but I'm not quite sure what I would take out to do so. In fact, I might just run it back here. Yeah, I just don't think any of these cards are worth bringing in. So even though he's playing blue, I don't think we saw any flyers beyond like the 1 Aben. So maybe Forced Landing is not as great, but it wouldn't be unlikely to think that he has a Thunder Drake or something in his deck as well, so I could see this getting some utility. I'm not sure what I would take out, though. I think we're just okay running it back. Okay, here we are for game 2 of the first round, and, well, cannot keep a Zero-lander. How about 2 Zero-landers? I guess I have to keep this and hope I just hit running lands off the top. Yikes, that's pretty unlucky. They just got rid of the London mulligan as well, so we're back to the Vancouver where you do lose the cards, but you do get to instead, you know, scry one for whatever that's worth. Even Eternal the first play. We found our lands, but do I want a Conjurant? I don't think I need the Conjurant versus him. / don't want the Conjurant versus him. Raging Crunch now too. Yikes. Well, I'm going to play the Bloom Hulk and hope that it trades with the Crunch, I guess. But just lose to basically anything. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be good enough. Take 8 here. Just way too far behind at this point. Alright, maybe that gives me a small chance if he has actual nothing. As this blocks profitably on both of those. But I would assume I'm just dead. Yeah, he's using a Pyro Helix on my face, so not much to do here. Mulligan to 5. And he had a pretty nice one. I'm actually glad he had that hand on my mulligan to 5. Because hopefully he's not going to have another hand quite as good. I guess I'll bring in the other Thorn's Thirst, though, just for the flyers. What am I taking out, though? I guess maybe just the bear. That seems fine. All right, let's go to game 3. And hope that I don't get mana screwed out of it. His deck looks very good, though. Probably better than mine overall. But we'll be on the play for game 3 here. Oh, come on. Gotta go to 6. And this is a sad 6, but it's a keeper. We'll keep the Sorin's Thirst on top. Don't get me wrong, it's not like a terrible 6, it's just feels bad needing to mulligan 3 times in the last 2 games. Dang. Drawing anything to do that turn would have been very, very good. But if I just get to Helix, or Thirst rather, the first play he makes, that's not bad either. I think we're just going to go for the Nurturer, and if he has no escape, that's fine. Would rather get this countered than the Angrath, I think. Plus, this way now I can go Angrath plus Thirst next turn. Okay, he has a Ral. Scry 1. Left it on top. Price of Betrayal would be a great draw here. Or another land. I need to draw some action, and I need to draw it fast. Especially since we know he has multiple Callous Dismissals. It's just so good versus the zombie armies. Although, if he just plays like a single creature this turn, then I do get to kill Ral, which is nice. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. Yeah, this looks like a totally lost. But we did find Price of Betrayal. So what I'm going to do here instead of amassing, because I think he might have totally lost, is just attack Ral for 4. And if either of these hit the Ral, then I get to price it down. Aha! Twist of Fate. Okay, well, he kind of baited me there, I guess. And I don't want to lose the Angrath. but I think it was correct to play it like that. He just simply had the card that protected it. The problem is, I mean, again, he has so many more cards than I do, and I have such little pressure. Okay, he's going to copy. And he's going to copy the Totally Lost. Seems good. He also gets to kill my Angrath in the process. All right. Well, I think we are just RIP ripped this game. So it seems like he did have the Totally Lost last turn had I gone all in on the Angrath token. But, yowza. Yep, that'll probably do it. This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this Planeswalker starting on 4 and going up by 2 loyalty. I think Sorin does the same. I think Sorin goes up by 2 loyalty as well. He's just so crazy in this type of limited format, you know, and it just kind of just snowballs out if you don't have an immediate way to answer it. So this game's just looking very much over at this point. And I think that's good enough. Copying a Epiphany. The writing's on the wall. Bow down to our Lord and Master Amaz. I don't know. We had some mulligan issues for sure, but his deck did look a little bit better than ours, certainly. And again, that is unfortunately going to be the end of the draft, as this is single elimination. So I thought our deck was fine. It ended up pretty good, honestly, given how the draft started. Remember, I started with Commence the End Game, and then kind of shifted in blue-black, and then picked up that a Johnny. So decent deck. I think we got crushed by a better deck for sure, but the mulligan issues certainly didn't help. Anyways, that was the first War of the Spark draft. There will be plenty more coming up, so even though we lost round 1, I think a lot of the important steps of a draft actually occurred during the drafting portion anyways, so if there's something to be learned there, then that's great. You know, I don't think there was much to say about the gameplay except keep better opening hands. Try not to mulligan. All right, we'll see you guys next for whatever draft we have ahead in the future.